Hello everyone. So today we will continue the chapter Living World. So in our first class we came to know the different defining features of living by which we can differentiate between living and non-living. Today we will come to know the different diversity of the living world and related to that some new terms. Okay. So first I have mentioned a term, what is diversity, or what do you mean by biological diversity. So what is diversity? That is a variety of organisms, plants or animals in a particular area or habitat is called as diversity. So what is diversity? So which term is important? Variety. The variety of living organisms. That means it may be plants, it may be animals or microorganisms. All together it is called as diversity. I am repeating, the variety of plants and animals or any type of organisms in a particular area or habitat. This point is important. In a particular area or habitat is called as diversity. So around us there are different types of plants, animals, microorganisms you will find. Okay, so near about 1.7 to 1.8 million species we have found around us. Okay, so 1.7 to 1.8 million. Look, we have got different types of plants and animals. Now we need to know the names of that plants or animals. So if I consider a crow, some people will say this is crow, some people will say this is kawi or cock. There are so many local names around us. In a different place to place, the name of any plant or animal varies. So that may create a problem. So within a country, place to place, it may vary. If we consider another country, the name also be different. So for considering this situation, we need to standardize the names. So for standardizing the names of living organism of a particular organism, scientists have decided to provide them a particular name, and this name is called as scientific name, and the process of assigning name is called as nomenclature. So now we come to know another term, which is nomenclature. What is nomenclature? It refers to the assigning of names to an organism. Assigning of names to an organism is called as nomenclature, and which can be said throughout the world. Okay, it will not be different place to place. So next we will know another term, that is I have written another term, that is identification. What is identification? That is, first we came to know what is nomenclature. So nomenclature is possible. Nomenclature is possible only when the organisms are described correctly. Organisms are described correctly, and we know that organism is, or we need to know that particular organism. So I am repeating it, just listen carefully, that nomenclature or naming is only possible when the organism is described correctly and we know to what organism the name is attached to. It is called as identification. That means identify something. Clear? So nomenclature is based on the identification. Now, for assigning names, we need to follow some rules. So there are some rules we need to follow, and that nomenclature, that means naming, may be binomial and trinomial. We will read about the binomial nomenclature and some rules of that nomenclature. So I am writing two terms. ICBN and ICZN. So scientists have established some procedures to assign a scientific name or particular name which can be known throughout the world or all over the world. Now, these can be, and biologists all over the world will follow some rules provided by ICBN and ICZN. I am repeating, ICBN, ICZN. And that means naming will be based on the agreed principles of ICBN and ICZN. What are the full form? International Code for Botanical Nomenclature. I am writing International Code for Botanical Nomenclature. And what is the full form of ICZN? International Code of Zoological Nomenclature. So scientists need to follow the principles or some rules provided by the ICBN and ICZN. If they follow, then it will be accepted or not. Okay. So what are the full forms? International Code for Botanical Nomenclature and International Code of Zoological Nomenclature. You need to follow that part. Okay. So in case of botanical nomenclature, we will write for, and in case of zoological nomenclature, we will write of. Okay. So in your exams, the full forms may come of ICBN and ICZN. So this naming system is given by a scientist called as Carolus Linnaeus, and you need to know the spelling of that scientist, Carolus Linnaeus. The naming procedure is described by Carolus Linnaeus. And now we will come to know that naming procedure, that is binomial nomenclature. Bi means two. Binomial nomenclature. So as I have mentioned that bi means two. So in the name, two part will be there. So one is generic name and another one is specific name. So two part will be there. First one is generic name and specific name, or it is called as specific epithet. It is called as specific epithet or generic epithet, and these two components are called as binomial nomenclature. And these naming procedure can be given by Carolus Linnaeus. I told you earlier. So this binomial nomenclature is given by Carolus nomenclature. So if I consider the example of mango, that is scientific name of mango is Mangifera indica. So Mangifera is genus and indica is species. Okay, and look how I have written that binomial name. So there are some rules we have to follow for writing binomial names or knowing binomial nomenclature. Now we will come to know what are the different rules of binomial nomenclature. So first one is the name must be originated or the name generally will be in Latin. So, Latin. Then biological names are generally in Latin and written in italics. Written in italics. The biological name will be generally in Latin and when it will be written, it will be in italics. This is the property of number 1. And what is the second property? The first letter of the genus, genus will be capital. And the first letter of the species will be small letter. Second property is the first letter of the genus will be in capital letter and the first letter of the species will be small letter. As I have written that Mangifera indica, I have written M, which is a generic bird, and in capital form, and indica I have written in small form. Okay? And when both the generic, that means biological name, when it will be handwritten, it will be underlined. When it will be handwritten, it will be underlined. I am repeating the name again. Mangifera indica. Look, I have given an underline. So, whenever it will be handwritten, it will be underlined. And whenever it will be in printed form, it will be written in italics. But whenever we are writing by our hand, it is not possible all the time to write in italics. That's why we need to underline this thing. Okay? And what is the last property? That is, as we know that the first component of the name will be, genus and the second component will be species. So if we consider this example, we can find that it is satisfying or not, that all the properties. Let me check. So first I have told first part will be genus name. Yes, it is. Second part will be species name. It is. Next, the first letter of the genus will be in capital and the first letter of the species will be small. It is fulfilled. Next, whenever it will be handwritten, it will be underlined. Okay. And the biological name, which is Latin. Why the biological names will be Latin? Because it is a dead language. What does the term mean, dead language? Dead language means no modifications will be found in this language. That's why Latin language has chosen. Okay, because if we consider a name in English, now after a few years, there will be some change. There may occur some changes. So then what will happen? The name also we need to, that time we need to change the names also. So it will not be a good way of naming. So we need to give or provide a name which will be fixed. So that's why that type of dead languages has been chosen. Okay. So now we will come to know another new term, which is taxonomy. Which is taxonomy. So what is taxonomy? Taxonomy is the branch of science that deals with the characterization, classification, identification and naming of organisms. So it is a branch of science that is dealing with the classification, organization, identification, characterization, naming of organisms. So in that taxonomy, organisms or animals or plants are grouped into some categories. Okay, which are called as taxa. In that system of classification, organisms or animals are grouped into some categories are called as taxa. Like we are considering dogs, cats, wheat, rice, These are the different categories and the scientific term of these categories are called as taxa. So next we will know another term, what is classification. What is classification? Classification is the process by which organisms will be organisms or animals or plants can be grouped into a convenient categories based on some easily observable characters. Okay, this is called as classification. Okay, that means we need to classify with the some characteristics. We need to classify organism. So these are the some terms which are related to this chapter, and here we come to know what are the basic processes of taxonomy. Basic processes of taxonomy. First, characterization. Second, identification. Classification. Nomenclature. These are the basic processes of taxonomy. First I have written, that is characterization. What is characterization? So characterization means description of any organism according to their morphological and some other characters. Describing of any organism according to their some morphological and some other characters is considered as characterization. Next is identification. Identification means whether it is to similar group or not, it is known as identification. Third one is classification. Classification means based on some similar characters, we will categorize into groups or into a different taxon or taxa. It is classification. And last one is nomenclature. What is nomenclature? That is assigning of particular names according to that observation. Okay, so these four are the main basis of taxonomy. So next, a new term is there, that is systematics. What is systematics and from where that term came? So that term came a Latin word which is called as systema. That term is derived from a Latin word which is called as systema, and it means systemic arrangement of organisms. Systemic arrangement of organisms. So the systemic word came from systema, which is a Latin word, and it means that systemic arrangement of organisms. We need to arrange organisms in a systemic way, which is called as systematic. So systematics is the scientific study of kinds and diversity of organisms and of any and all relationships among them. We need to know all the relationships of the organism. So systematic is the arrangement of. So it is used by Linnaeus, and he used that title in a publication which is called as Systema Naturae. Systema Naturae. Linnaeus used Systema Naturae as the title of his publication, where he has described all this. It is called as Systema Naturae. So in systematics we will come to know all the relationships amongst the organism. Okay. So for today That's it. Just you try to remember all the terms, because all the terms are important. So some short questions may come from this portion, or as I have told that full forms of ICBN, ICZN, and what are the properties of binomial nomenclature, and the explanation of different terms. Questions may come from this. And in our next class we will read about the taxonomic categories and their examples. Okay. So for today, thank you.